girls, children of all ages, and millions
listening all over the world
by the website www.magicate99.fm, by the Killer Bee radio stations, via Radio Boracay, via Ustream. Born July 15th, 1972. Advocate of educational reform, was elected to the House of Representatives in 2004. Current chairman of the House Committee on Higher and Technical Education, representing the Lone District of Aurora. He had studied in London School of Economics and Political Science. His law degree at the University of the Philippines College of Law and Harvard Law School, where he obtained his Master of Law degree.
Master of Love?
Law.
Oh, Master of Love. Law.
Well, he could be. He could be.
Master of Love. Malalaman natin.
Oh, well, we have
Malalaman natin.
Oh.
Master of Love. Master of Love.
Yeah, no, Master of Lust. Oh. Because he has a wife, he has 3 kids. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome
Boys Night Out, Congressman Sonny Angara.
Hi guys, good evening. Toni, Sam, Rick. Good evening to all the listeners.
Thank you.
That's by far the coolest introduction I've ever gotten. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Parang papalaban na intro eh. I know things have been really busy for you. We've been expecting you kanina pa, but yeah, how's your day?
Sorry about that.
No worries.
Yeah.
Long day?
Yeah. A few friends that were throwing a dinner to drum up support for me. So.
Yan ang mga gusto ko yan, mga few friends mo. Malamang mga big friends mo yan eh.
But bigger than me, that's for sure.
Dapat sinama mo dito para mag-big time show.
Big time man.
But how's everything been going so far?
Hectic. Medyo busy. I was up at 6 a.m. We had
Baka mo sa a day na life. Kwento mo.
Well, today was unusually busy because we ended at 1 a.m. last night. We had a dinner with supporters, and then 6 a.m. nasa GMA na tayo for unang hirit, and then we had guesting throughout the day.
Natapos, hindi ka in bed at 1. Natapos ka at 1.
Yeah. Oh.
So, malamang
1:30.
1:30.
Relax a little bit.
Tapos 6 a.m. you had to be at GMA.
Yeah, for a show.
Okay.
With fellow candidates, no?
Right, of
Parang
course.
forum, candidates forum.
And then after that,
well, I was there for like 3 or 4 hours because there was a series of interviews. We went to the TV, GMA News, and then went to the office, and then had a few meetings. So it was the last day of session in Congress.
Okay. Oh, it is?
Yeah.
So, yeah. Very interesting point. I think one of the reasons why we had you on the show, itong yung bullying, anti-bullying app.
Is it cyberbullying?
Bullying is right. Well, cyberbullying is a form of bullying.
Cyberbullying is included actually, and it can be considered in the definition as part kung sustain siya, palagi niyang ginagawa, tapos kinakawawa yung kaklase nila. So,
kasi ako, victim ako ng bullying. And, it's, I actually alam ni Toni and Stick, it's not easy being, at least now, iba na ng konti. But during my time, it wasn't easy growing up as an Indian.
During your time, so sinasabi mo mas matanda ka mas sa akin.
Bakit hindi naman sa gano'n?
Kasi back in my days, 80s yun, di ba? 80s ka.
Oo, Paps, kasi kahit gano'n ka creative yung pang-asar mo, pag inasar kang Bombay and everything, talo ka na agad eh.
You just let go.
Interested ako dyan sa mga anti-bullying kasi ako mismo, I went through that.
I think all of us did to a certain extent, diba? More or less.
How do you consider an act as bullying?
Yeah. What is the definition of bullying?
Oh, ano ba yan? Bullying na yan? O
well, it's repeated acts of, it could be, it doesn't even have to be physical eh. Pwedeng psychological, yung asaran lang na malicious na siya, tapos repeated, and the intention is really to hurt that person. That can be considered bullying. Pag isolated incident, hindi eh. Yung inasar mo lang, hindi na siguro yun. It's a thin line, it's a fine line.
May age group ba yan? Like, let's say, plus ka sa teenage years mo, 25 years old, may bullying ka ba nun? O matanda ka na, hindi ka na pwede bully?
Hindi na. This only applies to
minors.
Elementary and high school.
So, out of yan, 16?
Yeah, Kaya nila yan.
So, pag college, okay, college kids,
Do your own thing.
do your own thing. Alam niyo na. Hindi na applicable sa inyo to.
Exactly. That's why you're in college. You're smart enough.
Oo.
So, but itong online cyberbullying is a big thing.
Especially now.
That's right, that's right.
And how are we...
We've had cases like, let's say, si Amalaya. Huwag na natin diretso na natin. Si Amalaya,
Imbarga,
si
Chris
Delta
Lau,
Rambuena,
Chris Lau.
Chris Lau.
Chris Lau is here as
Yeah.
well.
I mean, we sa mga case na ganito, of course, YouTube videos flew all over the internet and we only see one side of the story.
Sure.
Hindi natin nakita, let's say, kay Amalaya. Hindi natin example yan. Nagwala sa LRT, MRT. Wala sila ng guard. English siya doon. May music video na siya. Amalaya.
The thing is, we didn't see what happened before.
Exactly.
Because there's always two sides to every story, but obviously the one that gets sensationalized is whatever is seen online.
That's right. That's right.
And then, everyone, they'll just go on that.
It's kind of the same with Chris Lau, di ba? I mean,
Yeah.
it's only recently that we found out the trauma he went through.
He was on the show and he really
He really?
Well, still pakamatay at one point.
And he had to hire a psychiatrist or a
He had to
psychologist or
leave
something.
for-
Out of the country.
Oh.
Really? That's bad.
Hong Kong.
Right, right.
Yeah, Hong Kong.
2 months
to get away.
Yeah.
Oh,
But so how do we go around, or how do we go about filing a case? Oh, I'm being bullied. Let's say online, on Twitter.
Yeah.
Ang dami kong haters. But considering that we are, all three of us are exposed,
Right.
diba, in our professions. Syempre, you have to weigh that out.
Yeah.
What is considered bullying, especially if we're part of the media?
Well, we wouldn't be covered by the bill.
So we're
right?
out.
We're out.
Ay!
We're too old for the
Okay.
bill.
Ay, nako. Kahit sa internet, wala na kaming na-reserve.
Wala.
Oh my God.
Nabully ako!
It's for the kids.
For the kids.
Yeah. Kasi sa kanila talaga yung nakakasakit yung bullying eh. Yung medyo lasting yung
Yeah, it has.
But Congressman, pag sinabi ng girl lalo sa akin, why don't you act your age? Diba?
Parang bullying na yan.
Oo.
Nabully ako.
Parang sinasabi, bata pa ako, batang isip. But you've actually bills filed. Ito, Preschool Act, Freedom of Information Act, Cybercrime Act, School Building Act, Mercury Regulation Act, Marine Pollution.
Mercury drug, ganun.
Hindi. Yung Mercury.
Nakakala ko yung mga presyo sa Mercury. Stabilize natin
Students
lahat ng mga
Transport Discount Act.
Yeah, we've got a lot to do with schools. Kasi,
A lot of it,
yeah.
Bakit nga ba?
Because I was the chairman of the committee in higher, I still am actually, the committee in higher education. So a lot of our work was
We have a program here on Boys Night. Yung Papa Tuition Act. Yung kailangan ng tuition. Nag-ano kami.
Therapist, ganyan.
We look for potential scholars.
Education is important to us.
Oh.
Yeah.
Diba, the kids are our future.
I could be interested in that now.
Would you be willing to merge?
To co-sponsor.
Papa.
Ano pera mo, yung papasikating kita iya foundation. Ganyan tayo.
But yeah, like you're saying that you're the chairman.
Yeah.
And what's your whole vision of just the whole education system here in the Philippines?
Yeah, I think a lot of policymakers, they kind of focus on just getting kids to graduate and kind of find a job. They don't
talaga quality.
Not really, hindi tayo nag-focus sa quality and we don't focus on them getting jobs in the country. Parang we ignored that aspect. It's only now that we're starting to realize, after looking back, parang, coach, lahat ng estudyante natin, nagmamigrate, lalong-lalo.
Yeah, they're seeing
parang the better they are, the more they study, mas malaking chance na aalis sila.
And they study to go abroad.
And that's something that I think we have to kind of fix and kind of foster yung tinatawag na creative class. We're talking about you guys artists, we're talking about lawyers, businessmen, guys who create jobs and create opportunities, inventors, like ala Silicon Valley, yung mga Google.
Yeah.
Medyo malayo pa tayo doon, but we kind of have to have something to aim for.
How would you describe like Toni mentioned, yung mga bills you filed, a lot of it has to do with schooling. Let's say 80-90%, or if I'm not mistaken, schooling. How do you see the educational system now? And what exactly is your vision na mangyari hopefully sa education system?
Well,
Wala natin ngayon. Ano ba ang view mo ngayon?
it's just like yung educational system, parang reflection or microcosm yan of our country. There's two Philippines. There's one that's mired in poverty and poor quality.
True,
There's
true.
one that's excellent, world class.
Ito naman, yung mga prestigious universities.
Yung tanong is, how do you get the two to meet, diba?
Yeah.
Ito
How
yung
do you
mga
reconcile
pinuntahan
them
ni...
together?
Ito yung mga pinuntahan ni Slick Rick, Lasal. Diba? Huwag na natin yung direct. Galing to sa expensive school. Sa itsura pa lang. Oh.
Ano?
Ako po yung itsura ba?
Saan ka? Ateneo!
Oh, ito expensive. Mukhang expensive. Diba? Ito, si Tones, mukhang homeschooling.
Kasi he wanted to just be an artista.
Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that.
Walang tiwala sa mga schools.
Pumasok sa Star Circle ba?
Mga BI to eh.
Ito, Star Circle, batch 1.
Batch 1. Eh, sunod dito.
Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that.
Sina dito no Campos, sina Gito G, nag-photoshoot. Eh, nakalimutan, hindi nagising. Hindi nakapag-photoshoot.
Missed the break. I missed this break.
Then they put him on the shelf. Next batch. Ayun. Wala nang batch.
But to be fair to Lasal, they're coming up with a lot of interesting courses now, like animation.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, non-traditional courses na, you know,
That
Pinoy's excel at, you know. But creative tayo eh. Yung malikhain,
I agree.
di ba?
I agree.
Magaling tayo. I heard all these Hollywood animation films, mga Pinoy ang gumagawa.
Yeah.
Yung mga nag-design ng mga apps and video games, Pinoy din. Sa NASA, ang daming Pinoy dyan. Sa...
Mga nagdanasa.
May pagnanasa.
Alam ko sa Starfleet, puro Pinoy yan.
Iba si Toni.
Hindi, like, yun nga, saka lang ako sabihin ni Kong, oh, like Lasal, ang ganda ng volleyball team. Okay naman, kahit sa Ateneo ko, gagawin ako dyan.
Speaking of do you have any hobbies, sports?
Yeah, you have any sport?
I used to play a lot of basketball, but now, since the campaign started, medyo taper off.
Anong position?
Usually two guards. Yeah. Yeah.
Shooter.
Okay, so,
And then, too slow to play the point, so default lang, by default, too short to play the three, so two na lang.
ang vision is to merge, yun nga, let's say, the private sector of private schools and what we have in our, let's say, small barangays.
You know, 80% some of our countrymen go to public schools.
Oo,
So,
totoo yun.
you go to a country like England. I happen to go to school there, di ba? The public universities are the best. University of London, that's a public university, right? It's
And it's
owned
the
by
best.
the government. And it's the best school there. So, parang tayo, medyo, we gotta fix the public school system.
Is it the teachers?
It's the teachers, it's also the resources. It's
resources.
Iba-iba eh.
Yeah.
Parang talagang perfect storm, kumbaga. Panay problema. But there's a way out, I think.
Hindi kami politicians, pero magkano ba, if you don't mind us asking, magkano ba yung mga budget sa mga ganyan? Like, in a year, anong budget ba nilalagay
For
sa mga
next
schooling?
year, parang 300 billion sa ano.
300
DepEd.
billion
Yeah,
pesos.
300 billion pesos.
For DepEd.
DepEd. Most of it is salaries. About 60-70% salaries ng teachers yan.
60 to 70%.
Yeah, yeah,
So yung remaining 30% ng 300 billion na yan
Yeah.
would go to...
Classrooms, maintenance, things like that. Yeah.
If you were to have it your way, anong sa 300 billion?
Well, let's talk about percentage na lang. Right now, we're spending siguro mga between 2 to 3% of our GDP on education.
Okay.
Ang sabi ng UN, kailangan nasa mga 5 or 6% tayo. If you're a developing country, more pa siguro.
Pag 5-6
Lang.
lang talaga yan.
Oo. 5-6, sorry. No offense, Sam.
Tulog sa akin yung mother niya. Go ahead.
So, kulang talaga yung public investment kumbaga sa education. That's something we should look at. We look at Singapore, Hong Kong. Kumagastos yan. Tumataya talaga sa...
How much is for a student for public school? Ano bang cost to?
Student, well, it's free.
It's free.
Yeah, high school is
So all you're paying is
free.
for the books.
Yeah.
For the miscellaneous.
Well, may konting fees ng konti, pero actually bawal yun eh. Kasi theoretically, libre dapat eh.
Okay. So you just need to raise the level of I guess the standards in public school.
Yeah, you'd be surprised, you know. You go to some public schools, wala kahit isang computer, walang internet connection, di ba? Nagsishare ng libro.
Kamusta ang standing ng teachers? Do people still want to be, kasi ba at one point nagka-problema yung mga pare, parang wala nang gusto magpare. How about when it comes to being a teacher?
People still want to be teachers.
Kasi
A lot of people take up education courses.
You were a teacher.
Well, I was a professor,
Yeah,
law professor for just a year, actually.
Mm-hmm.
It's very, very difficult. The commitment talagang ibang
Hindi
klase
sweldo
siya.
titignan mo dyan di ba?
Oh. Well, I think gumanda na yung sweldo na kasi ng public school teachers, kaya marami daw lumilipat from private to public, especially sa probinsya. But, walang shortage of teachers. There's there's always hundreds of thousands every year who take the licensure exam.
And speaking about the schools, you really do have to start them out young. And recently, it was past the universal kindergarten education.
Yeah. That's what we're saying, diba? Kasi, tingnan mo yung mga mayayaman. Diba, 2-3 years old, preschool na kagad, diba? Babayad ng libo-libo for tuition.
Mas mahal pa sa ano.
Mas mahal pa sa regular. Mas mahal sa Lazada. Mas mahal sa Ateneo, diba? Yeah. So, we thought, why not for everybody else, diba? So, that's the theory behind universal. Ano lang, patas lang.